Good morning, Covenant Love. I'm Barbara, and this is a CO moment. Proverbs 22:6 says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." All of us as parents want to know that when our kids grow up, that they're going to be okay. And most importantly, that they're going to follow after Christ. So when we think about that training up, we come up with this whole list of things that we think they should be doing so that they won't depart from their faith, such as we send them to church each week, we send them to all the events that the church is having, we have them pray before their meals and before they go to bed, choosing the right friends, and even listening to Christian music. But if they grow up and go the way of the world, we question ourselves, where did we go wrong? We did all the things that we think that Christian parents should do, but maybe we need a better understanding of what Proverbs 22:6 means. The words train up in the Hebrew means hanak, which means to dedicate or to consecrate. The verb tense of this word means to thirst, and a good picture of that is back in the older days when women were trying to get their babies to nurse for the first time. They would take dates and crush them up, and they would dip their fingertips into it, and they would rub it on the top of the palate of their mouth, and that would stimulate their gums and cause them to thirst for their mother's milk. So instead of coming up with things that we think will make our kids follow after Christ, maybe the best parental training will actually come from living out an example of following after Christ. We are to teach them the word, but as we are an example of what that word is, that should cause our kids to see Christ in us. So when we demonstrate having a relationship with Christ instead of just knowing about Him, when we teach them first and foremost to love God, and then to love others as we love ourselves, that we're to love others whether they look like us or not, whether they act like us or not, or even if they love us back, they might not ever do that. But when they see Him in us and us living out that example, that will cause them to thirst after Christ. I believe that this thirst will be the very direction that our kids should go, which is to follow wholeheartedly after Christ. So I encourage you today, start living out the example of the Word of God towards your children and all those around you so they too will thirst after Christ. This is Barbara, and this has been a CO moment.